And greetings, casual citizens, and welcome back. I'm Paul. I'm joined as always by my illustrious co-host, Jason.
Howdy.
And we're here reviewing Season 1, Episode 2 of HBO's Watchmen. It was called Martial Feats of Comanche Horsemanship. And my first comment is, what the fuck is going on with these names?
I know, that was a strange name, and I told myself I'd remember it, but then I didn't.
I don't understand any of them. But anyway, because I didn't understand the last one either.
What was it again?
It's summer and we're running out of ice.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it relates.
Uh-huh.
But this one makes even less. I assume that this was related to the picture, the painting that we see at the end in his house, but I don't know how. So, I don't know what the significance is.
So we found KKK regalia.
Yeah.
Is what you call it, right? Regalia, I imagine?
Paraphernalia.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the way I see it, there's three options.
Okay.
There's the option, and then there's the kind of boring option.
Yeah.
And then there's a crazy cool option that I thought of.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to do it in that order. So the meh option is that this guy is actually a secret Nazi. Or
sure.
Nazi, pardon me. KKK.
Yeah, tomato.
Okay. And I really like him, so obviously I don't want that to happen because I like the guy. Or could be his dad, and he just feels weird getting rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it how you deal with it, I guess, man. But what if it's his superhero costume? What if he
Klansman?
No. What if he goes undercover? I like that idea a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that would be my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah, because it had the badge on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah.
So what was the third one?
That was the third one.
Oh, what was
it was
the
either him, either he really was secretly.
Oh, his dad is the.
Or he was undercover all along.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that you actually like the character, considering your aversion to wearing t-shirts with suits and blazers.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
And rolling up the sleeves of blazers.
I didn't even notice he did that.
I mean, he doesn't. It's Don Knotts. He was in Miami Vice. That was their thing. They rolled up their suit jackets and they wore pink and purple t-shirts underneath them.
Yeah.
Their white suits.
Well, what did you think? What did you think about it when you saw it? What did you think? Where you put your money at?
I mean, I was expecting it. Right?
Yeah, it seemed kind of, it felt like there was going to be something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was, obviously those are the same choices. I don't really have anything to add to it. Those are the obvious choices. I don't know which one of those I would prefer. I don't know that I care. I mean, my impression. So
I thought it was really emotional when they were in the hospital when they showed that. I really liked that. I was really moved.
Who? Angela
and the chief.
No.
Judd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I don't feel anything about this show.
Oh.
It doesn't feel high quality to me, which is depressing because these are good actors, and there are moments where it feels like intense and well done, and then there are other moments where it's just like the acting is just bad.
Such as.
Well, I mean, there was one that I made a note of and it was when she gets the call when she's got Will down in her bakery basement, right? And she gets the call that apparently, I guess it was them telling her that the chief was dead. She's like, oh my God. And now that one was, I realized afterwards, like, oh, that was intentional. Like she was faking. She knew he was dead.
That's meant to be fake. Yeah.
But it was,
I guess I didn't need that shiny fella telling me he was crying under there. I was like,
I didn't need that. But also then when she is, there was another, where she first brings Will in there. And then she goes into the room, right? She goes into the little keypad room, and she starts screaming. But, like, she wasn't really screaming. And I was like, this feels awkward to me. I didn't care for this. And Regina King is a great actress. I mean, and she's been in great stuff. Obviously, I loved her in The Leftovers, season 2.
I loved her in Boondocks.
Yeah. I mean, she's great, but I don't know. I don't think it's her fault. Because there are other scenes where she acts great. I mean, she's, as good as Regina King ever is.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm loving this. I'm loving it.
It's not doing anything for me.
Well, maybe I think a lot of it could be nostalgia from Watchmen.
Oh, for you. Yeah, because I don't have that. Yeah. I didn't read it. So, yeah, and I just kind of I don't know. Yeah, it's like the guy with the silver what do they call him?
Glass?
Glass, yeah. Which I guess makes sense. It's shiny, right? he's just kind of like it. Like there was the scene with him like wearing the mask in his house in his trailer while he's eating his microwave dinner, watching the show. And it was another thing. It was like it felt really tropey.
And he was watching the Hooded Justice thing, right?
No, he was watching the show Heroes story
about Hooded Justice.
Was that? I couldn't tell. That's another thing. The
editing
is weird.
That's Hooded Justice.
I couldn't tell if that actually was the show or that was like a flashback.
I think it was the show. I think it was clearly the show.
Okay,
but I guess I thought he was gonna be black.
Hooded Justice.
Yeah. Which made me think, what if he actually was, and they just got a white actor to do it?
Oh.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be. That doesn't feel like something we would get in a Redford administration. So, overall, I mean, so you like it though. Why do you like it? What's getting you about it?
I guess, to be fair, a lot of it could be that I just really wanted to know what happened, but after Watchmen, kind of want to know what happens. I kind of wanted Veidt's plan, not to work. What do I like about it? Everything that you don't, I suppose. I like the acting. I like this. I like the intrigue.
Yeah.
It could easily not turn out to where I don't.
Sure.
I don't know. No, we're still early.
Sure.
We got 7 more.
Sure.
But I think I like the Veidt stuff. It's appropriately weird.
Yeah.
I think it's nothing has turned me off yet, right? I'm expecting all these payoffs. So yeah, if all this doesn't get wrapped up in a way that I like, I'll change my mind. But right now, I'm still very open to this being great.
Yeah, and I do. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like it's not gonna wrap up, and it just feels like it's not going anywhere, and like it feels more like Lost and less like The Leftovers. And I mean that not just in not even just in the way of I hated Lost and I stopped watching it because it just meandered, and it was clear that it didn't have a direction and they didn't know, so they just started throwing stuff at the wall. This kind of I don't think this will be that way. Lindelof has been pretty clear this is only going to be 1 season.
Oh, ever?
So, yeah.
Oh.
At least that's what they're saying so far.
Yeah.
That it's going to be these 10 episodes and that's it, right? And so if that's the case, you have to imagine there's a story, right? But then again, Leftovers was the same thing, right? And then we got 3 seasons out of it, and every season was totally different because the first season was based on the book, and that's where the book ended.
Yeah.
So seasons 2 and 3, they just had to, create new stuff, and so that's why they just were like, we're just going to do a whole new story for season 2, and then we're going to do a whole new story for season 3, and they're just linked, But like technically speaking, they're not. They take place in like years apart, I think, between seasons 2 and 3, right?
Yeah.
And so that could still happen here. But the line right now is there's only 1 season. We're not doing an 8-season Game of Thrones thing. And so I have to imagine there's going to be a payoff. They've thought about the story, but it just feels like it's not going anywhere. And I also mean it from a production value standpoint. This show does not feel like an HBO show. It feels, Blue Dick aside, it feels like a network TV show.
I just put my finger on something.
Okay.
I think
you should get it off.
I constantly keep making guesses of why something's happening in the show or what's going to happen. And sometimes it'll not be the case. I'll be wrong. Right? For example, I was pretty sure that Hooded Justice guy was going to be the guy in the wheelchair. And also I figured he was going to be the kid from the opening scene of the first episode during the Tulsa
Massacre. Would have been
Massacre.
too young, I think.
No, I think it was pretty clear that it was him. We just found that out. Right? He was
I don't think so.
He was at
Did
least
we find that out?
I mean, he was at least a descendant of the massacre thing.
Did we get that that's what Hooded Justice was?
No. I just thought that those two were related.
Oh yeah, I don't think they are.
So anyway, I guessed that, right? Because he's. I figured the Hooded Justice was black because of the noose thing. I thought it was like a thing about.
But that's what I'm saying. The timelines I don't think match up because Hooded Justice looked like it's clearly taking place around the time of post World War II or post World War One, and he was a kid in World War One. Will was a kid in World War One. His dad was the one that got the pamphlet.
Was that World War One? I thought that was World War II.
No, it was World War One.
That was World War One. Okay.
You think the Nazis were reaching out to the black American soldiers saying, Hey, come here to escape racism.
Well, I thought
is that
I
the
did.
process?
I thought it was just propaganda. I
No,
thought
no,
it was
no.
just pulling their leg.
No,
right?
that was World War I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did that really happen?
I'm sure it probably did.
Well, okay, so hold on. So as I was saying, I thought that was all connected. So I thought, okay, so they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to be right. And then it turns out that the hooded justice guy was white, so it can't be that guy in the wheelchair. And I was like, okay, right? So it's not just something boring every time that I'm wrong, right? It's
Yeah.
I feel like I get drug in deeper every time I'm wrong, which isn't always the case with shows.
I will say,
sometimes it's I'm wrong. It's like, oh, it's just a boring explanation. Okay.
Yeah.
And this just gets weirder.
Well, I will say that the ending of this episode intrigued me a lot more.
Great.
Like that was something for me to look forward to.
It's the owl. I think it's Owl.
Probably.
What's his name again? Night Owl.
Yeah.
Night Owl. I think it's Night Owl.
Dan something or
Dan,
other.
yeah.
Speaking of, so in case you guys weren't aware, HBO is doing a whole meta thing with Watchmen.
Yeah.
So they have a website, hbo.com/PDpedia, and that's PETEYPEDIA.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of like a Cloverfield thing, where it's basically it's just like in a canon extended universe.
Yeah.
Thing. And it is the personal files of Agent Dale Peety, who's a character in the show that we haven't met yet, and it kind of describes the things that happened after the comic ended and where the show starts. And so, for example, it explains the squid raining thing. Well, it kind of explains it. It explains in the sense that they don't know what it causes it and why it happens.
Yeah.
But it's been happening ever since the end of the comic, where the squid monster came and killed half of Manhattan or whatever.
Yep.
Which they call DIE, D-I-E, which stands for Dimensional Incursion Event. So that was the event. And the creature itself was called EDBE, which they don't say what that means. But anyway. And then apparently after Watchmen, basically the sum of it is this.
Extra dimensional biological entity. Nailed
Oh.
it. Nailed it.
You did. That actually makes sense. Oh, you just messed up your mic. You got to, yeah. Hold on just a second. He peeked out the mic and it. You good?
Yep, I think so.
No.
Nope.
Do it again.
Hello.
Do it again.
Hello.
Unplug it. Plug it back in.
Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah,
boop,
there you
boop.
go. Don't yell into the mic. Don't peek the mic. It doesn't like
That's
it.
all right.
Anyway, yeah, that actually makes sense.
Yeah,
Extra dimensional
extra-dimensional.
biological entity. That's well played, sir.
Yeah.
So anyway, but basically what it goes on to say, it goes on to describe what happened after the comic, what happened before the show. It says Night Owl and Silk Spectre went on to, they went back to the life of vigilantism, as we see obviously in the comic. Lori took on, she went from Silk Spectre, she became the comedian after she found out obviously the comedian was her dad. It talks mainly about Ozymandias though, Veidt. And basically, apparently what happened was things didn't turn out the way he expected. He expected everybody would just be like totally into technology, and Veidt Industries and all of his various conglomerates were going to be there to provide the solutions, right? And so he had made most of his money on like automotive electric charging ports. So everybody was driving electric cars because Dr. Manhattan apparently just gave them
Which
lithium.
they still are.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird.
Some of them.
Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Although Knight, she drives a GNX, so good for you.
I guess I thought even in her car, there was like a weird battery thing in there. Like it had like a charge, like a battery, like a phone. I remember that in the first episode.
I really hope they didn't modify a GNX to be electric.
I think
I love
did.
electric cars, but please don't modify your GNX to be electric.
I claim they did.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
That would be another strike against the show.
Maybe not. No, maybe not.
If anybody out there, if you have a GNX, do not put an electric drivetrain in it. Please do not do that. It's just, especially the GNX, it's just so unusual for an American car. In case you don't know, it was like a Buick Grand National.
It's a muscle car is what I'm
It was
imagining?
kind of a muscle car.
Okay.
But what was unique about it was it had a twin turbo V6, which is not common for American muscle cars, right? They typically had V8s.
Fascinating.
Yes, it is fascinating. So anyway, I don't even know if it was twin turbo. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, it was a turbo V6. Very, very important. So don't electrify it.
I won't.
And there's not that many of them. That's the other thing.
Understood.
So anyway, but shout out to her for driving GNX.
It's like making a Stradivarius an electric violin.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, fair. So anyway, what happened was he had, this patent on electric car charging ports, but after everything went down in the comics, people flipped out, turned away from technology, and were basically like, they became Luddites. They were like, we don't trust any of this technology, and so a bunch of technology was banned, including, it appears, electric cars for a certain amount of time anyway. Computers, they were completely banned for a long time. But apparently he also funded like hospitals that were treating people who had PTSD from die, which, is the least he could do considering he did it. So anyway, so he did all that. And because everybody turned away from technology, all of his patents then basically were nothing. And so all of his assets were bought up by another company called something like Tiong. What is it called? Trio. Trio Industries, and it's run by Hong Chow. That's the woman who plays Lady Trio.
Okay,
will be in the show, but we haven't seen her yet. She's been in the previews the last 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so she acquired all his holdings. He disappeared. Like nobody saw him since like 2007. So apparently or 2012 or something like that. So they just declared him dead, and not because they found his body, because obviously he's still alive.
Yep.
But they were just like, well, we haven't seen him forever, so he's dead.
So speaking of Vite, do we think those are robots, or do we think that they're clones?
Now,
were they all the same person?
That's a good question.
Now,
there's 2 different people. There was a man and a woman.
There's a man and a woman. Was there multiple of the ladies or just multiple of the men? Did we only see did we see multiple ladies?
Yes.
We did. Okay.
Yes. You'll see the picture roll by.
Sure.
The woman who was playing the music, and she had the bag on her head.
Okay.
Yeah, she took it off, and there was some other stagehand. And they were both the women. And then the other 2 were the guys.
Gotcha.
So, and apparently he just rotates through them.
Right, but he called it a corpse.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
And I was expecting it to be robots, but then so I was expecting when he bent down to get the pocket watch, there would be like a deactivate switch, or you'd see circuitry or something like that, and you didn't. Seemed pretty human, and including the subtitle said bones cracking.
See, I really want to know what happens. I really want to know what happens with this.
Seems like they're clones.
Now, fun fact: they quote Ozymandias in the you saw that in the trailer for the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look on my works, you mighty in despair.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, best episode of Breaking Bad. Like, not even close.
Ozymandias.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. That's how this series should have ended. Don't at me. Actually, but at me on twitter.com/casualnotion or instagram.com/casualnotion. So anyway, that's what happened in between. Any thoughts on that?
No, I think that was. I'm glad. They really fleshed it out. I buy that, and I didn't expect it, so I don't know. I couldn't ask for more. I don't think.
Yeah, I would be. I don't like.
I love that they leaned into Rorschach's racism.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
that's great.
It is great, and it's funny. I was reading an article about it. That was like very deliberate. That was like where Rorschach was supposed to be about. Rorschach was supposed to be like an Ayn Rand idol.
Yeah.
And how shitty of a person that would be.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And how not successful they would probably end up being.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point. Whoever wrote, whoever created the character. Right. And it was like apparently a direct rebuttal to another comic book guy who was like loved Ayn Rand and had a character who was like a superhero who was like an Ayn Rand type. And this guy was like, that guy's a great artist and I respect him and good for him, but I completely disagree with his politics, and so I'm going to write the character that shows just how dumb that would be. And that's where Rorschach came from. I'd have to look it up, but you guys can look it up on there. But anyway, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I like how they leaned into it. Obviously, 7th Cavalry has a K. I got numerous clan Easter eggs, it felt like, in this. Obviously his costume was one, but also I wondered if, like, remember her husband was wearing the ghost outfit, and that was like the sheet. I wonder if that was kind of like an Easter egg.
So here's something, and they kind of touched on it in the
and also cavalry spelled with a K,
right? On the website, the Peter or whatever, they mentioned the psychologist talking about how real superheroes aren't a thing, and so they.
Yeah, the psychologist. There were some psychologists who heavily influenced superhero comics in our universe.
Yeah,
because he wrote about what if it was like potentially if they were a superhero, And yeah, they say in this one, well, he just would have done what
so
real superheroes.
So in that vein, just talk. So remember, they were playing pirates.
Yeah.
With the kids, right? So and remember also the pirates was what that kid was reading in his comics in the movie and the comic.
Okay.
Right? You remember that?
No.
The Black Freighter.
Oh,
it was a
okay.
cartoon.
Yeah. I remember.
So that's because comic books weren't about superheroes. Because there were real superheroes, they did pirates and ghosts and.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that's a big thing in this universe.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. We find out, I was asked last week why her kids were white, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they were adopted.
Now we know.
Now we know. It was her partner's kids.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that guy sitting on her front porch was like their grandfather.
Or brother, or uncle.
Or brother or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess uncle.
Yeah.
I think they may mention something
They
like
didn't.
that.
They didn't say anything about what he is. They just said,
okay.
It's my day. That's how we presume his family. Yeah.
And she pays him off.
Yeah.
She pays him off to not be able to visit whatever his family, although he seems obviously racist, right? That's the vibe we're getting.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not opposed to Redfordations for Tulsa people for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you start somewhere, that's a solid place to start.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are we going to have the reparations debate?
No, there's no debate. There's no debate. I in this universe, I think I'm for Redfordations for sure.
Okay.
It's told me clear. I mean,
what do you mean in this universe?
No, well, we don't have a President Redford, right? I mean,
sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if someone came to me and said, hey, if Elizabeth Warren came to me and was like, hey, I think we should do something for the people, taxes of the descendants of people who got messed up in Tulsa, I'd be like, that seems like a good experiment to try this out on, right? Mm-hmm. We try it out, it works out, then maybe we try something on a larger scale. I think that'd be excellent.
We've already experimented with reparations.
I don't know the history of it, and so
we gave reparations to Japanese citizens. Because Reagan did that.
Sure.
Reagan gave Japanese intern
that's
citizens
fair. I think that's completely fair.
In the 80s. And that worked out pretty well.
Well, then good.
Right? I mean, there's a substantial amount of evidence.
Are you just demanding that I say I'm for reparations right now? Is that what it says? Okay, well, I'm probably for reparations.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know all the data, but probably. Yeah. Very, very probably.
It wouldn't work through taxes, though. That doesn't make any sense.
Why not? I don't want to do this. I don't want to.
Ultimately, it just comes down to the fact that, remember Mitt Romney's 47% tax thing, like 47% of the country doesn't pay income tax. It was technically right. Like half the country has zero federal income tax liability. So give them a tax break doesn't really give them any money. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why. And there's lots of other reasons. But anyway, point being, I don't know. They have Redfordations. People are upset about it, as white people apparently would be, because they're upset about anything, right? Mm-hmm. So that seems to be a big storyline going, or through line. We see protests outside of the center, the Greenwood Center for Cultural Heritage, which is like a museum for what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. And what happened in Tulsa. And obviously he makes references to her about it, and they call them handouts. And it's like, all right, well, like, anyway, I don't want to get into all that.
Yeah, but be clear, you know. I almost said, don't call me Princess. Casual Notion officially does not support reparations through taxes. Well, right? We're firm on this.
It's just not effective.
Okay, I'm kidding.
I support reparations through direct fund transfers.
I don't know anything about the topic, but I should. Is my position on it.
That's fine. Nobody has to know everything about everything. Let's talk about Red. I'm a big fan of Red.
Red?
Yeah.
Oh, the Red Scare.
Yeah.
Big fan. Love his energy. Yeah. I don't support violence in the way he's doing it, but I love the energy.
Although, I got to be honest, and I feel like that's what this show is doing, is like turning it around and being, and I don't know where it's going to go, and I don't know if this is the most effective way to make these kinds of points, but clearly the show is like turning around. But like, okay, now imagine, right, the libs win. Yeah, and did all this shit to you guys.
Right. Do you like that? I'm surprised. I liked it. I'm surprised. I guess I'm surprised that you liked it.
Oh, well, I mean, because I always worry when you do things like this.
Yeah, for sure.
That it just, because this is the thing. They think that's how it would be, and that's why they're so scared, right? So if you have a bunch of liberals make a show, we're like, hey, imagine the liberals win, you get reparations, and then we go into your trailer park, tear down your Nixon statue, and arrest you all for being racist.
See,
that makes them go, that's right, Trump 2020. That's what I worry about.
I know, but I liked the juxtaposition. I was like,
it's interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It's just another one of those things. It's like, and I don't want to relitigate this, but it's like the Joker movie. It's like there's an interesting way to tell the story. I don't know that this is the best way, A, and B, I don't know that this is the best time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's stuff like that kind of concerns me. But they could totally go in a right. And it's way too early to tell, right? We're only 2 episodes in. It could totally be interesting and good. I just artistically, it's just not interesting and good to me yet.
Okay.
But
it was to me.
It's getting a little bit more interesting. And like I said, I like Red. I like the line with the, get off me, you Nazi. He's like, I'm not a Nazi. I'm a communist. Yeah. I was like, yeah, good for you. Because anybody who knows anything knows they don't get along.
Yeah.
The Nazis and the communists famously do not get along. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. What did you think about the whole Nixon trailer city thing?
I mean...
Like all the racists living in a camp.
Well, let me just put it out. Let me put it this way. That makes the cops the bad guys. We agree. Liberal, no. Their behavior makes them the bad guy in that. We agree on that.
Interestingly, though, even though the authoritarian liberal cops don't have guns.
Didn't
shoot people.
I didn't notice that.
Didn't shoot people.
I didn't notice that. Well, in any event, but no, rounding up people, you don't know if they're bad. Yeah, exactly. We agree that they're bad.
Yes. Due process is important.
Yeah, and I think this is all going to be a masks thing. I think it's going to be if you put someone in a mask, you can't trust that guy. Yeah. Which is that's the tagline of the whole of Alan Moore's whole thing. Who watches the Watchmen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the crux of superhero stories in general, right? Like if someone is inherently an anonymous vigilante, we imagine all these scenarios in comic books where that's a good thing, right? And they have these powers and they use them for good. It's like, but in real life, almost never fucking happens. If you tell me there's an anonymous vigilante out there, I'm immediately suspect that
suspicious,
they're racist as shit and they're hacking people.
I don't know that I immediately think they're a racist, but yes.
I mean, 4chan, right? Like 4chan and 8chan are like the predominant anonymous internet places, and it's pretty full of racism.
I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I don't understand 4chan. Well, I've tried to understand 4chan, and I don't understand it. I don't understand Reddit. I'm just a Luddite. I belong in this world.
You're not really anonymous on Reddit. I mean, you can be, but it's not the same thing. But yeah, it's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I just don't understand any of it. I don't know. Apparently, people get up to nonsense on it.
Oh yeah, it's real bad. It's real bad. Unfortunate. Yeah, Reddit's trying to clean up because they're trying to be more legit, right? But like 4chan has no pretenses.
People
like,
bring me.
This is just the hellhole of the internet.
All my friends bring me excellent things from Reddit.
Yeah,
I just can't seem to find any of them. Every time I get on it myself, I'm utterly bored.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. So wait. So I'm confused now about what happened to Angela. Because we see the cavalry break in and she gets shot. But then the whole rest of the episode she's in it what's the timeline there? It doesn't make sense.
It was like, I don't remember, it's like a few years ago or something.
Oh, that was the White Knight?
Yes, that was the White Knight, yes.
Oh, see, this is the editing. Yes. I thought, because it took place right after the scene where she talked to her husband and Topher, and the guy was outside their house. So I just thought it was later that night. I thought it was present day that was happening.
I don't think that.
Well, it couldn't have been because she wasn't shot at the end of the.
Right. But no, remember when she wakes up and sees Judd, we know Judd's dead.
Yeah, I thought that's where the flashback started.
Oh,
that's what I thought. Like she got shot, and then like as she's shot and passed out, she has the flashback to the last time she was shot on the White Knight. That's what I'm talking about. The editing, it just throws me off. It's so not good.
Oh no, I don't agree. I was so clear to me what was going on.
Oh, it wasn't to me, but I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm one of them dumb kids.
No. You were taking notes. He was taking notes. He's taking pictures. So who knows?
Let's see. Is there anything else to stand up to?
No, not really. I think we got it. I think we nailed it.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say is the flag, right? Vietnam is the 51st state. I mentioned this last week. Puerto Rico and DC. How is this still not happen?
I know.
It doesn't make sense, especially if you imagine we're living in the liberal paradise where Robert Redford is handing out reparations and.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's not really a paradise, right? That's
well,
clear.
I mean, sure,
right,
but like clearly, Redford is a lib, and they make reference. They even call the lib Stapo, right? That one guy, the newsman,
right? I think maybe what we're gonna.
It just seems like I don't know how you get to a place where you can give reparations without having Puerto Rico and DC have statehood. That's
That
the
seems
thing
fair.
that doesn't make sense.
Well, okay,
but it's a completely different.
Let me
universe,
sell you on it. Let me sell you on it. I think what this message is really doing about when they're saying liberals, they're not doing this. The thing that some people do is like Ann Coulter and Ben Shapiro, where they go, the libs are the real Nazis. I don't think they're doing that. What I think they're saying, I think what they're saying is, left or right, one party doing everything is not a great idea. One party systems are just gonna become awful.
Yeah,
and I believe in that.
I don't even know that this is one party system, right? Keane is running.
Do we know he's conservative?
Well, I assumed he would be. I mean, he was against the vigilantes, and I mean, I don't know. I guess if I think about it, I guess it's possible he's maybe libertarian.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to find out that the conservative
not a big fucking difference these days.
Well, I think we're going to find out the conservative movement in this universe has just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's underground. They live in trailer parks with Richard Nixon statues.
Well. I guess I've always up until now I've been thinking it's not just conservatives or nothing. It was like just KKK people, just way far.
It's a blurry line these days. I understand.
Well, no, but I mean, there are good people who are conservatives. I know. So, yeah, but I think that's what we're going to find out is the message on the political thing is that one party systems, no bueno. I think that's what it is.
I got to be honest. I got to talk to you. I got to say this too.
Okay.
On this whole idea of conservatives and some of them are good people, I get you, right? But at the same time, like I just had a discussion with someone, a family member.
I want to clarify my remark before you criticize it. I would like to say that most people who are conservatives are probably perfectly good people.
They're perfectly good people if you talk to them about normal
We don't
things.
like their politics. We don't like their politics.
It's not even that. It's okay. I was having a discussion with this person.
Sure.
And who's a family member, and I won't say who it is, obviously, and she was talking about it. She's clearly conservative, pro-police and all this stuff. And, like I support cops as long as they don't shoot people, and I just don't think they should have guns. But like, that's a different story. But, she's talking about how, so much of her family is prejudiced because she's got a daughter and her daughter's dating a black guy. Right. Mm-hmm. And she's like, and I'm just like, oh no, it's totally, I'm totally good with that. And I'm like, oh, that's good. And then it went into a totally dark direction where it was just like, no, because he's one of the good ones. Like he got a scholarship. Ooh. He got a scholarship because he was black, and he turned it down because he was like, "I'm not going to do that." And then it was like,
those are the magic words, aren't they?
Yeah. And then it turned around into like, she was like, "Well, you just don't like down here, like we have Black Lives Matter, and you go into stores and there's so many black people, and you just have to like walk on eggshells because you're gonna get called prejudiced for every little thing." And I'm like,
"Okay, Paul,
but you just admitted that you're prejudiced."
I'm gonna slow your roll because you started this with talking about I say that most conservatives are good people and fine people, and you said I have a family member who you don't see the.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll leave it to you.
What do you mean?
You're arguing against that most conservatives are great people, are good people, great people.
No. I was not arguing against that.
But
I was not arguing against my core argument is that yes, they're perfectly lovely people and you have totally lovely conversations, and they'll even be okay. They'll have a black friend, right? Like that whole thing of like one of my best friends is black, or like my daughter's boyfriend's black, so how could I be racist and all that stuff? And it's like, yeah, but you still are, and like
see that's
but it's in a different way.
But you're
support the actual racists, and they don't realize that. It frustrates me.
No, because now we're doing blanket state. I don't like it when they call us communists. I don't like it, so I don't just want to blanket say that they're racist. I don't like it. I just want to avoid it. That's me.
Okay, but at the end of the day, I'm not actually communist. And they actually believe that most black people are bad.
I cannot comfortably say that about most conservatives.
Well, I mean, I don't know most conservatives, but I'm saying there are so many conservatives that I meet that are the exact same way. That are like, yes, they will even have a black friend, and there'll be all this stuff. But then it turns out it's like, oh, they're prejudiced, right? Not necessarily white supremacist, not that, but they're prejudiced, and they enable Donald Trump. They think, well, he's speaking truth. And it's like, yeah, but Donald Trump is enabling actual white supremacists. So see the bigger picture. That frustrates me. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm conveying. That frustrates me.
Sure.
That yes, They're perfectly lovely people when you talk to them in person. If you get to know them, they would be perfectly lovely people, and they vote in ways that make life difficult for a lot of people based on the color of their skin or where they were born.
Which is just
and
another
that's very frustrating to me.
There's another way of saying we don't agree with their politics.
Yes.
Yes. We don't like your politics, conservatives, but we like you.
It's not even about politics. It's like it's one to me. It's like one thing to be. I disagree with your politics on terms of regulation and taxes, and it's like okay, but I get where you're coming from.
I think it's still politics.
But when it comes to
if you can apply it to how to build the
when
better
it comes
city,
to someone being able to exist, right? It's just like it's like the guy in Indiana, the councilman who was caught on video being like talking to every single Democrat running for president is awful, and Pete Buttigieg is worse because he's a homo, and it's just like, oh, so the guy's gay, he can't even run for president. It's
who
like,
said that?
Well, some councilman in Indiana.
Well, yeah, councilman.
Yeah,
fair enough.
It's stuff like that. It's like when you're talking about people's just ability to exist and function in our society.
You wouldn't
it's
call
like
that
that's
politics?
not no.
Really? You wouldn't?
It is, but it shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying.
Oh well, it always has been though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I wouldn't say.
Thus, we get to Watchmen,
right?
Which is pointing out that race
yeah,
and politics
yeah.
have always been intertwined.
Yeah, because I mean, you.
And that's my most frustrating thing is when they always talk about conservatives always talk about identity politics. I'm like, if there is an identity politics party in this country, it is the Republican Party, and I can prove it to you because almost all Republicans are the same identity. That is not true of Democrats, right?
Sure.
So it's like it's really frustrating. So anyway, but that was a tangent diatribe. Anything else to say about Watchmen?
No, I'm good.
These are the things that I hope that they get to, but I'm concerned they're not going to.
You want them to get to identity politics and
it is about identity politics. It starts with the Tulsa bombing.
No, I kind of want
it is about racism.
Oh, see, I kind of want all of that to be clearly a smokescreen. I want it to be about something else deeper somehow. And it just starts with this. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think that's the way it's going to go.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Based on what I've read and comments from Lindelof and people who created it, this is very deliberately about race.
Okay, fair enough.
America.
I'm down for that too.
And I think that, and I thought you understood that. I thought that was what you said when you talked about they leaned into Rorschach's racism.
Surely, yes, I did. But I mean, I'm talking about like the larger overall theme of it. Right.
Yeah.
So especially with the Vite stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that makes me feel like all the racial stuff, the tension, all that,
mm-hmm.
and the liberals are now in charge, and
mm-hmm.
all that is a smokescreen. I thought because, Vite thought this was going to work out, and people were going to hold hand to hand, and then we were going to use technology to better themselves. But really, no matter what you do for people, they become violent and get into groups. I think that's going to be an overall, which is still a bit on the same topic, but I thought it would go, I just want it to go a little bit deeper into that, right? Which is how Watchmen ends, right? With Dr. Manhattan saying, I can't change human nature, right? So that's kind of what I like. You guys are violent, right? You guys all need to just talk more. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's where it's going to go. I hope not.
I hope so.
Oh, I know that you and I are very different on this. To me, again, that just goes to things like it's just not the time. It's just not the time that I needed that. You know what I'm saying? It's just if we're fighting the Nazis, don't make videos about how the communists are also bad because
Well, they're not.
Huh?
Well, they're not. The Watchmen isn't. That's not what he's saying.
I think that is what they're going to say.
You think that they're going to say
I thought that's what you're saying. I thought that's where it's going to go.
The communists are bad?
They have an actual communist who goes into people's homes and beats them up and throws them into paddy wagons.
I was going to say that what the message is going to be is that whatever your politics, if we leave you all to your own devices, we'll split up into groups and become violent.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an old tale, but
yeah,
I still like it.
I mean, that's what the original, like you said, that's what the original Watchmen is. Do something original. So I hope it doesn't go that way.
Okay.
But we'll see. Anyway, let me know your thoughts.
Yeah.
In the comments.
Yeah, leave your comments. As long as they're not, obnoxious, we'll read them.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on twitter.com/casualnotion, instagram.com/casualnotion. Check out some of our other review videos. And yeah, we'll be here next week, same time, same place, reviewing Watchmen season 1, episode 3.
Absolutely. And if you think that you've liked and subscribed and you're not sure, you should check.
Until next time, keep it casual, everyone.
All right. Bye.